Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to do an in-depth guide of how to use the LMG, as it is now a devastating shotgun. Yes, you heard me right, shotgun. It does 128 base damage. With a quick rate of fire, you can clip people out very quickly, and it does a massive 190 critical damage. So this thing is insanely powerful. I'd argue it may very well be the best gun in the game right now. So we're going to go over the statistics like effective range, wall damage, using multiple of them, combining with other shotguns. And then after that, I'll play some background gameplay and talk about the approach you should use and how you should play with it, whether you're playing BHE, the Pit, Yap Maps, any of those. The best way to think of the LMG is that it's halfway between a combat shotgun and double barrel, but it's really taking a lot of the best aspects of both. From the combat, you're getting its quick fire rate. It's just slightly slower than combat, so it's got around that pacing. It's got its same spread, and it's got the combat shotgun's kind of range. Well, at the double barrel, you're taking the massive amount of damage it does, the very quick draw speed, but the small magazine. So in terms of damage, as I said, 128 and 190 for the purple one. For the blue one, you're still able to do an impressive 122 base damage and 182 critical. So that's still very good. You know, that's in line with the double barrel shotgun and the pump shotgun, which are doing 123 and 128. That's really good. And the critical damage is actually slightly higher because the purple LMG could do 190 headshot, while the gold pump, which has the same base 128 damage, can only do 185. So the LMG is overall really good in terms of your damage. But the great thing about the LMG is it has much more effective range than any of these shotguns, right? If you go to 4 tiles, double barrel is doing 1 damage, right? It's effectively useless. The pump shotgun is doing about 40 damage at this range. Well, the LMG, even the blue one, is still doing 104 damage. Even if you're moving, you're still doing 104 damage. Go out to 5 tiles, pump shotgun, it's doing maybe 8 damage. If you're standing still, maybe 13 damage or so. LMG, still doing 80 damage, right? Go out to 6 tiles. Pump shotgun, does nothing. Combat, still doing 36, not terrible, right? LMG is still doing 76. 9 tiles, combat, 16 damage. LMG, even if you're moving, still doing 49. And the key thing about LMG is you have first shot accuracy. So you can hit 49 very consistently if you wait for first shot. Right, 16, but that's because they were low, 49, right? 12 tiles, combat, nothing. LMG, still doing damage. Go all the way out to 15 tiles now. 15 tiles away. LMG is no longer doing damage. Step down to 14. So the LMG has a 14 tile range. It outranges the combat shotgun. Even at 14 tiles, you're still doing 18 damage with first shot. If you're not using first shot, you're doing a little bit less because of the spread. Point is, LMG has insane range, you know? Even at, say, 10 tiles, this thing's still a very effective weapon, right? You can still clip people for 40 damage with first shot accuracy. That's pretty devastating. Let's move on to the wall damage. You know, this is one of the biggest drawbacks with shotguns. You know, if you look at the combat shotgun here, combat shotgun, 47 wall damage, pretty embarrassing. Not a lot you can do with that. Shoot 3 times, you still can't take out a wood wall. Pump shotgun, doing 55, you know, you still need 3 shots to take out a wood wall, and that's not really helpful because if you pickaxe once and then go for the pump shot, can't destroy it. Double barrel is a bit better. It does 90 wall damage, which is quite good because you can do 2 tap out a wall, or you can go for a pickaxe to take like this. The LMG also does 90 wall damage, and the purple one does 95 wall damage. So that basically means both LMGs, you can do the same tricks, right? You can 2 tap out a wall like this and do a steal, or you pickaxe it once. You know, it's at 75 health, no issues. You just do a quick wall steal like that, make an edit, and then do whatever you want, right? Point is, LMG wall damage is quite good. This thing can shred walls, and the great thing about the LMG is that there is no fall off versus structures. So even if we go out here, where, you know, we're pretty far away, and we go for 2 shots, 1, 2, you can still instantly destroy a wood wall. So even super far away, you can still be spraying like this build right here. You can spraying it from range, and you're doing 180 wall damage per clip. Let's move on to the fire rate. The fire rate is 1.6 on the LMGs, and it's 1.7 on the combat. So it's a hair slower, but that's still absolutely devastating because you're doing 128 damage, 1.6 rate of fire. You know, you're pumping a damage per second of 204, right? That's devastating amount of damage. And you can clip people out within 0.625 seconds of the first shot because all you need to do is hit 2 clean body shots, and that's an elimination. Like, your enemy will have very little time to react to you firing the LMG. Let's move on to our mag size. Obviously, the mag size is only 2, which is inherited from the double barrel. Not ideal. You know, you're going to spend a lot of time reloading, but the reload time is pretty quick. 1.8 seconds, that's a quick reload, right? The double barrel has a reload time of around, I believe it's in the 2-second range, over 2 seconds, right? The LMG is reloading significantly faster. And if you think about it, 256 damage in your magazine versus 246 in less time. So the reload time is actually very good for the amount of damage you're loading into your weapon, right? Pump shotgun, all of them are bugged for some reason, but point is, the reload time relative to how much you're putting in is actually pretty good. Finally, the shotgun delay is bugged with the LMG. If you shoot one shot and then switch, you have the shotgun delay. But the second shot doesn't count. So if you do 1-2 switch, you can just indefinitely fire. That's incredibly powerful, as you can just double up on LMGs. Like, say there's an enemy up here, they're hidden behind a wall, like this. So they're in their box, they're not looking at you, you just use one LMG to blast through, other LMG to clip them out. It's devastating. You can combine this with other shotguns. You can do something like have 2 LMGs, do LMG, pump, LMG, right? And you don't have the shotgun delay because it's bugged out to where this pump shotgun's shot won't count for the shotgun delay. So if you fire both shots with the LMG, you won't really face a shotgun delay at all, which is incredibly powerful. You can do all sorts of combos. You know, you could also do something if you want to be a bit safer. You could run like LMG and then combat after. Like, there's so many options. It's honestly ridiculous how powerful the LMG is right now. Let's move on to some gameplay and let's go over how to use the LMG effectively. Okay, so just to summarize that information there, the advantages of the LMG is it's got insane damage, very good effective range, very good wall damage, a quick and snappy rate of fire. And it's also got a quick reload and basically no shotgun delay. The disadvantages is pretty much just the magazine size, and that's really about it. So the LMG is absolutely devastating. Against the double barrel, it's just flat out better. The only advantage the double barrel really has is that it fires a little bit faster at a 1.9 rate of fire, so the clip out speed is quicker. But the thing is, the LMG does a little bit more damage, is way more accurate, reloads faster, does more wall damage. It's just flat out better. And even against the pump, I still think it's noticeably better because you have a way quicker rate of fire, much faster draw speed, way more wall damage, way more range. And against the combat, it's also way better. You have way more damage, more effective range still, better wall damage, about the same fire rate, and no shotgun delay. So overall, the LMG is a mandatory carry in any mode you can find the LMG. It is absolutely mandatory to carry this thing. Now, let's kind of see what roles it can realistically fill. There are kind of 5 weapon roles I consider. You know, the shotgun role, the SMG follow-up role, the AR role, the structure destroyer role, and the sniping role. Shotgun role, easy replacement. It's just better than all of the shotguns. You should absolutely run this as your shotgun. Yes, you have to play a little bit differently because you only have 2 shots in the mag, but it's so devastating, it's a mandatory carry. In terms of your SMG shotgun backup role, again, it's basically a replacement. Because you're able to effectively double shotgun, there's really no world where an SMG is necessary when you can just run 2 LMGs. Even in the AR role, the range is a bit limiting. You know, you can shoot to about 75 meters or so for around 15 tiles is about your max, which is not enough to really use it as a true AR. But if you're carrying a sniper, for instance, you could argue you could also use this in the AR role to an extent. It's definitely not a sniper, as the range is too limiting to be able to use at long range. And while the structure damage is good, it's really not a structure destroyer, as you know, you're using one clip to destroy one build piece and then you're reloading. So really, that's not a very good place to use this thing. So in terms of how you use it, realistically, it's going to depend on what game mode you're playing. You know, there's really 3 main game modes I want to cover that cover kind of different types of engagements. BHG 1v1 build fights, which is heavily a very small map, a lot of close range engagements. The Pit, which is a mix of close and long range, kind of medium range. And then Yap OG, which is a huge map where there's going to be a lot more long range engagements. Starting out with BHG 1v1, I would straight up say you should run at least 3 LMGs, if not 4 and even 5, because you're constantly in close range engagements. You get 200 siphon as soon as you get an elimination. So all you have to do is just run into your opponent's face and just keep swapping to the next LMG, and just clip them out. It's honestly quite reliable. Yes, you're going to spend a lot of time reloading, but because you have 5 of them, you have 10 shots, and each of them is doing 128 damage. It's just devastating the amount of damage you can do. So realistically, I'd say you carry 3 LMGs plus Grappler plus, Chug Splash, or you even carry 4 LMGs plus Chug Splash, or even 5 LMGs and nothing else. It's honestly the best gun in the game, and in that type of game mode, it's basically a universal weapon. Now, if you play a more medium range map like the Pit, I would not necessarily recommend running 5 LMGs. The reason why I say that is because you need to have some mobility, and heals is also going to be useful. So I'd probably say around 3 LMGs is ideal there. Run 3 of them, then run a Grapple or Shockwaves, and then the Slurpfish. The Slurpfish just heals you so fast, it's basically mandatory to carry. But still, 3 LMGs. If you want to carry, a sniper and AR, fine. But I think if you have those mobility items, you still don't really need those weapons. And then finally, for YapOG in a long-range map, I would say I would carry 2 LMGs and then carry some long-range weapon along with, a healing item, mobility, that kind of stuff. I don't think it's a good idea to rely on LMGs only in a long-range map, because outside of about 75 meters, you can't even engage your opponent. So you need something for long range. But it's still a very devastating weapon at close to medium range, and 100% recommend carrying at least 2 LMGs if you can find it. Now, in terms of some other combos, I tried out some other combinations, like running a tac shotgun with it, running a pump shotgun with it. If you don't feel comfortable running the double LMG, just using LMGs because you feel like you run out of ammo too soon, totally viable to do an LMGs and then switch to a SMG, or do LMGs, switch to a tac shotgun as your backup, right? There's no shotgun delay, so you can use the tac shotgun as a secondary weapon. You could also do like pump shot, LMG, back to pump shot. That also totally works. There's a lot of combinations you could run, and while they all feel pretty nice to use, I would still say if you can get a whole hang of how the LMG behaves, I would simply say just run as many LMGs as you can get away with. Because I just think the LMG's ability to clip people out is simply too strong, and I don't think it makes a ton of sense to run other weapons, especially because when making an edit play, the draw speed is so quick, which gives you a lot of interesting plays you can make, where you can just pull out your weapon and do an easy 128 damage. I expect this to get patched eventually. This is clearly not intended behavior, but while it's around, definitely try out the LMG, because it's insanely busted and just a really fun weapon to use, honestly, because it's just that good. And with that, I hope this video helps you, and I'll catch you in the next one.